This is for our dating and engaged couples.
Okay.
What are some practical boundaries while dating and engaged?
I'm glad you asked. Practical boundaries.
Happy to ask.
Keep your clothes on.
Yeah.
You say that. Yeah. I mean, I've also heard it said, if clothes are touching that part of their body, then you shouldn't. You know what I mean? So it's like, if it's covered by a garment, then maybe don't go there. And maybe that's like an undergarment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, avoid the breast and crotch area with your hands, or maybe other parts of your body. That's not going to be wise. And the other thing that I would say is, don't torment yourself.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get into a relationship and to have the intention of purity and the intention of righteousness and intend to not have sex and to wait until marriage, but sprint to the line.
Yeah.
Peer over the edge. Draw a line with your foot right beside the other line. Think about what it would be like to cross that very line. All you're doing is tormenting yourself.
Yeah.
You're doing yourself no. So what are some practical boundaries? I would say, first off, if you care that much, and I think you should, invite just some sort of third party in to be like, hey, we're in this
for accountability.
Yeah,
yes.
For accountability. Where it's like, hey, we're in this dating relationship. You might even be older listening to this. So it's like, dating changes the older you get, because there's some things that you would not responsibly do in your teen or 20s, that it's like, if you get into your 40s and 50s and you're dating someone, maybe it's like, you know what, we can go on a weekend trip and responsibly get different rooms. You know what I mean? We can make these decisions. But if you see that in teens or maybe even early 20s and stuff, okay, well, this is not good. So what I would say is, bring another person into it, have conversations. Let's avoid staying over. Let's avoid sleepovers. Let's avoid touching in garmented places. You're going to spend the rest of your life with this person potentially. It's okay to have friends during this season.
Yeah.
I know you're enamored with the person that you want to, spend your life with, but it's really healthy to include your friends and their friends as much as you can in this dating season, for multiple reasons. You maintain great relationship. And number two, that's built-in accountability right there.
Yeah.
The more time you spend alone, behind closed doors,
and I would say, don't just bring someone in as accountability. I challenge that person to check in on you on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I want you to ask me this question once a week. And if in your brain that question is coming once a week,
every Monday at noon, hit me with that text. Be specific.
Yeah.
Call me. Ask for the details.
Exactly.
I think that's really smart. The reality is if it's a high value for you to stay pure, then there are ways that you can do it. You don't have to feel a victim to your sex drive or anything like that.
Yep. The other thing that I think you said this on the part one, but about how your sex drive is kind of like a fire. It's a kindling fire, and you don't want to your boundary should be, I'm not going to pour gasoline on this fire. Right. So that may be one thing for one person and something totally different for someone else.
Truly.
But what pours gasoline on your fire.
Right.
And so that's where things are going to be very circumstantial. Prior to the lines that we already know, hey, this is intended for marriage.
Right, exactly.
The other thing, someone else had this exact same question, but it was a different variation of it. They were like, is kissing okay? What are some practicals for boundaries at all? And so, to that person, I would say, it's circumstantial.
Right.
To some people, they say, you know what? Kissing is going to be
reserved for the person I marry on my wedding day.
Yes. And
more power to them.
More power to people who draw that line. I think that's amazing. And you and the Holy Spirit can determine what that line is for you. You had made a great point when we discussed this about the person who had said, "Is kissing okay?" Do you remember that?
Yeah. Was it whenever I said, where it's basically like, if you decide that you don't want to kiss, that's great, more power to you, but don't condemn the people who have a different standard than you.
Yeah.
Because it's so easily that if you set a high bar for you, and maybe the Holy Spirit set that high bar for you. Yeah. Maybe the Holy Spirit knew, you know what? You don't need to dabble in kissing.
Yeah.
This is not good for you. Because your heart can get so invested, or, whatever it would be. I'm not going to pretend to know the reasons why, but if for whatever reason you have a conviction about that, then what you can't do is look at everyone else
and say no kissing for anyone.
Yeah. Or think that they're not as spiritual as you.
Yeah.
Or not as, fill in the blank as you are. It's a glaring sense of pride if you start doing that. And I would say, you know what? This is my journey. This is my standard. This is what I feel like God set for me. And I'm very happy to walk this out. If that's not what it is for you, that's okay. I still hope that, you have a great dating and engagement season.